Welcome to the Concrete Injection Made Easy podcast. Fixing damaged or leaking concrete structures with pressurized injection technology is a complex and often complicated job. Mistakes are expensive and can cost contractors and technicians their reputations, their jobs, even their businesses. With new episodes every 2 weeks, the podcast takes the mystery out of concrete injection repair and helps contractors and technicians become more professional, more profitable, and sidestep expensive mistakes. Now, here's your host, Mateusz Furs.
Hello everyone, this is Mateusz Furs. I know I made you guys wait a long time, but I did say that this year's episodes would come due time. Okay, no more waiting. You are just about to listen to the 20th episode of the Concrete Injection Made Easy podcast. Today's topic seems interesting to me and it relates to collecting information before making a proper repair. In almost all of the previous episodes, we talked about the crucial need to understand the problem. The injection test field serves this purpose, and as it will turn out, it is a great way to prove that pressure injection can be a great solution to many problems on the construction site. All you have to do is to do everything carefully. I invite you to listen to an interview with Stephan Delarue from Webag, who, by the way, was our guest on the third episode. I do encourage you to listen to the previous episode with Stephan as well. Okay, let's jump into the conversation. Our today's guest, Mr. Stephan Delarue from German company Webag, is our guest. He is our guest for the second time. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Hello, Mateusz. I'm doing fine. I hope you are also fine. And it's a great pleasure for me to be present in the second time here in your podcast series, Concrete Injection Made Easy, which is a really good podcast, which is not easy, but it's a really good podcast. And I'm honest, if I would be in that business as a contractor, I would take that as a good advice for my work.
Yeah, last time we have been talking about PU-based resins. It was a little bit over a year ago. So as we just agreed, we are 1 year older. Can you tell our listeners what have you been doing during this year? To remind us where you work, what you do, what you are responsible for in the company. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I will do that. So my job here in the company in Webag is I'm working here as an application engineer, which means I'm let's say consulting the technical problems. I consult about the technical problems. I consult about the product choices and how to apply the product. I'm doing some trainings here and seminars, and this is the point which is completely changed after the year, because now we are in that pandemic situation also, and that changed a lot of the business, or let's say a lot of the plan you have in your mind about consulting the clients and be present on site. So actually, it turned to let's say more online seminars and online workshops, and finally also online trainings, which is a good let's say alternative, and it makes also fun to do it only with a camera and discussions over Teams or Zoom meetings. That changed a lot in our let's say company, and for sure we are busy. The construction business is not sleeping. I suggest you will have it also in Poland.
No, absolutely not. Oh my, we are busy all the time.
Yeah, and it keeps us really busy. A lot of projects, and what the clients are telling, they have more projects coming up, which is also a good sign for let's say this year and maybe starting next year. And yeah, that is, it keeps us busy really. And we
Tell
are
me,
lucky.
does this count only for a German market, your domestic market, or also abroad, overseas, perhaps?
Yeah, we have also the German market for sure, but also the European market is also running. The construction business is running too, and I'm working in the export company as an application engineer, and I can say it doesn't change anything. So we have a lot of clients coming up and have some projects, and we have to consult them. The main, or let's say the minus point in that pandemic time is you're not able to travel to be present on site, which is sometimes necessary to to get an eye personally on that problem.
To touch this concrete and feel it, to really feel it and understand its quality and its issues, problems.
That's right. That's right. We are allowed
sources of leakages.
Yeah, we are allowed to travel. That's not the issue, but it is much more harder, much more difficult.
That's true. That's true. Last year, I hope you do remember, we were discussing different kinds of PU-based resins and the area of applications. And today, I would like to talk about the injection test field. We both agreed last week that this is absolutely important topic to be discussed. So can you tell me and our listeners as well, what's this injection test field really is, how you understand it, and if you could give us some examples of applying this solution on the job site.
Okay, so yeah, the let's say the main just name it test field, because
test field. Okay.
It is, I would say like a test injection or a test field, not a pre-injection, because this is a complete different point. A pre-injection is, let's say, maybe after a test field injection, the result. So I will name it test field injection, and it is how can I explain it? It is, for me, it is, if you come to a job site, or if you get called to a job site, and finally you should know what is there. How thick is the structure, for example? How thick is the concrete? What is the concrete strength, for example? But on a lot of sites, you won't have this information, or you can't get this information for any kind of reason. I don't know. Especially if you have to do injection in the ground, in the soil behind the structure, for example, for a curtain injection or a soil stability injection. And I would say the test injection, the main point of it is to get to finalize the assumptions of the planning, or of the planner, because he gives you, let's say, the frame, and he suggested, okay, this is the point, that is the target. We have to do it with that product X, Y, Z, whatever. But you have no clue about the background, or about the soil, or about the construction. And therefore, if you know nothing about it, it is better to come back to the step to say, okay, stop. We have to do a test injection to get an overview what is happening there, what is behind that.
Okay, so what kind of information do we expect to collect during the test injection?
Yeah, finally, I would say, if you speak about the point of a curtain injection, where we have to inject behind the structure, for example, we have to know the thickness. Sometimes you didn't know anything about the thickness, the structure himself, maybe what is behind it, what soil conditions are behind. Is there a water movement, which we have to focus on, which we have to calculate in our injection? Something like that. The temperature could be also a focus, or even if you have to decide the product, maybe if the technical part also fitting to that together. One component pump, for example, is calculated, but at the end you need a 2-component pump because of different conditions. Yeah, you never know that. This is what we have to find out with that.
Yeah. Okay. So now I guess we start to understand what a test field is. So can you give us an example or even examples of test field
Yeah.
you've seen, you made a decision, or you told someone to do it first in order to collect this information? So please give us some good
Yeah.
examples.
I try my best. Coming back to the point, I was last week on a site, on a tunnel site, and therefore they decided to do let's say a curtain injection for waterproofing in a tunnel, and the concrete. We didn't know about the concrete. We get some, let's say, weak informations about the soil which is behind. They told us, okay, there could be clay, but it could be also let's say bigger rocks or bigger gravel behind. They didn't know really exactly anything. They did some core drillings, which is also part of a test injection. If possible, yes, you can do some core drillings, but at the end we get no results. So and they want to know the packer distance because they want to drill first before we arrive for the chemical injection. But look, I was present there and I told them we can't tell anything about this. We know it's shotcrete, but we have no information about the thickness. So finally, we started from a point. We decided, okay, let's cover 2 square meters because this is a good size where you can get a feeling of it. Maybe after the test injection, and then we started from the packer distance. We choose 30 centimeters and let's say an injection pressure of the pump, and finally also an amount of material which will be injected in that test area. And it runs very well. So we found out for example, the distance of the packer from 30 centimeters could be get much wider. We choose the 40 or 45 or 50 centimeters because we found out during that test injection we get a good spreading, for example. And it was a good result. So
the material was traveling between packers quite easily.
Yeah, quite easily, which gives you also a sign that outside the structure is also, let's say, has not this big stones or big cavities, which is a solid structure to make sure that the spreading will work also. That was one example. It was a tunnel. But on the other hand, you can also, I did also a test injection let's say also it was a tunnel, but the target there was not a curtain injection behind an unknown structure. It was inside the concrete structure. Okay. So they had they had different spots there in that tunnel, but they have no clue about the concrete strength. Yeah. It was an old concrete, I think, remember 25 years ago, or older concrete. And the target there was to strengthen the structure finally. And we had no clue how many honeycombs are inside. What is it weak or is it a strong place? So we placed also some packers in different distances, and we injected a polyurethane resin, which is also a possible solution for strengthening with a high strength of the product. You can have a high strength of the material without any foaming factor. Yeah. You won't have a strength of, for example, 60 MPa, 60 Newton per square millimeter. And foaming is a lower foaming factor will reduce it, but you will get also 30 or 40 Newton per square millimeter. So that was the target to find out the spreading of the material inside the structure, the packer distances, the amount of the material, which can be calculated after the test injection zone. And at the end, we did also some core drillings to get on some spots to check really the structure and the strength of the concrete we achieved with that test injection. Okay. And after that, they decided, okay, we need the amount, let's say, let's say a number of 10 kilograms per square meter, for example, then okay, you can calculate it easily for the whole project or for the whole tunnel. Okay, for sure, maybe there are some unknown points, but I would suggest 80% can be calculated better after a test injection.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this area of making a mistake is much smaller than before test injection.
Yes. It is a good point for you as a contractor. And finally, it gives you more safety in that. And this should be, I suggest the main point is to discuss this with the client or with the planner to come to the point of a test injection.
Yeah, I can tell you that as the applicator, I was asked by a general contractor in 2014, so quite a long time ago, in Gdańsk, in the international airport construction site on the airport, on the runway of the airport, and they understood then there are some cavities underneath the runway. So empty spaces, the ground has been washed by water, and we were about to inject, let's say, very liquid concrete mortar with small aggregates, cementitious material, underneath the runway. But I didn't know how to calculate it because they asked me, what's the price by 1 running meter of the crack? I have no idea. What do you mean you have no idea? You are an applicator. You are running this injection business, so you have to know. And I said, no, I don't know. I haven't seen this job site. I'm in Warsaw, you are in Gdańsk. So how can I tell you what will be the consumption? Yes. And I told them, let's do tests. Let's do like 35 running meters, 1 crack. We will do it. We will understand how much time does it take to drill holes. We will understand the thickness of the concrete of the runway slab. We will understand this, the volume of these empty spaces underneath. Yes. Then we will prepare, mix, and inject this repairing material. We will calculate the time, and we will calculate the consumption of the material. And then we will tell you, on the basis of this knowledge already gained, the price. And we did it exactly this way. And guess what? This general contractor, this manager, liked this idea so much that we made the whole project using this method of calculating the price on the basis of 1 kg of powder of this mortar. Yeah, this is the point. You have to discuss this, and you have to show them what is your advantage. If you, as a contractor, you don't want to waste any material, or at the end you waste money. So this is the point. You have to discuss it. And one thing is also clear: a test injection is not necessary for every kind of injection. If you let's say if you do a crack injection and you know the structure well, and maybe therefore it's not necessary. But as you mentioned at your job site, it is a good decision, and finally gives you the background, or gives you more safety in your work, and the contractor himself. It looks for him. He knows that you are very well educated and you are professional, and you're not playing around with his money to waste his money at the end of the day. Well, at first they were in shock that I admit that I don't know something. It was totally new for them. This expression M&Ms, managers and meetings. So no one, or almost no one likes to admit that, I don't know something. Yeah.
Mm.
I have to check it. I have to learn it. I have to find out. I have to call to someone to get
Yes.
some more knowledge and then finally answer the question. So
Yeah, it
they
is.
were really in a big shock that I admit that I didn't know the answer right away.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Look, we are planning a bigger project, and they asked us also. Okay, we need the material. We have this target, and what is the amount? How should we calculate it? And we told them also we can't say anything. We can choose the material. For that case, it is acrylic gel, and on the other hand, is the polyurethane resin, which are let's say a competitor in that case. And yeah, but they want to ask from our side, what is the advantage of acrylic gel, and how can or compared to the PU? And we have to say them, look, we can't tell you that. We have to do a test injection. We have to do a field in that soil conditions there to get the answer for you guys, which is the amount, which is the maximum pressure we can adjust to that. Otherwise, we are not serious enough to help you in that case. So this is the point.
Absolutely.
And especially that's what we had also during the last year. We had a lot of clients coming up with ground injection works, stability or underpinning jobs there, and therefore it is a big advantage for you if you do a test injection. Otherwise, there we speak about tons of material or tons of cement or tons of a PU. So it costs a lot of money, and if you are not able to get a better, let's say, overview about your ground, it is not possible
then you
to get finally to the target.
Keep pumping the resin without really solving the problem.
Maybe it sounds bad from my side because I'm working for a supplier, but at the end I'm an application engineer and I want to finalize my project. And if I'm working for WEBAG or BASF, my target is, I'm honest, my target is to finalize the job with a good result and with a good let's say, which includes also a natural amount of material, not wasting any material. I can sell it to you, but makes no sense, Mateusz.
Economic approach is absolutely important, absolutely, because no one will ask you never again on any job site if you will simply play around with them, selling too much material or too expensive solution. If you give them too expensive, that I can give you one more example of from my own experience.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks for your support. Now back to the show.
We were injecting into the ground, again, almost the same story as yours. We were leveling the railroad crossing.
Okay.
So really difficult project because no one absolutely, even the general manager who hired us to repair it after 2 years of using this railroad crossing, they didn't know if they have removed the soil that were underneath the crossing. So no one knew what underneath, and we had to drill. We had to install injection lances, 2.5 meters long, and we were injecting PU-based Duromer resin of the compressive strength after it's hardened around 70 to 75 megapascals.
Okay.
And we were stabilizing the ground, and we were moving this little bit up to 2.5 centimeters. We needed to make it to stabilize it and to move it up at around 2.5 centimeters. And guess what? Again, they liked it so much that then this company and other companies that learned about our solution started to call us
Okay.
We made around 15 railroad crossing around the Poland last 3 years, because they see it. Someone changed the company. They don't work for Skanska anymore. They work for another general contractor, and they knew us and our solution given there. So they call me. They can see my article on my blog explaining this whole technology and so, and again the same story. So giving good solution, and even the answer is at first, I don't know, I have to try it. And after I try it, I give them the solution, and the solution is really working. Then you gain something that is priceless. Their trust. They simply trust you that even if you don't know at the very beginning, then you will find a solution, apply it, and they have they can work with you in the future. It's so for me, it's so important.
And it makes you it makes you professional. It sounds good. And there are a lot of examples, negative examples where they didn't or where they did not use a test injection, or simply a test before they started the injection. We get a lot of calls. There's something wrong. They tried something. And if you enter the site, or if you come into a discussion with the client, it's much more difficult for us also to find let's say the solution after the solution. So this is a weak point. If you also never know if they injected an acrylic gel, which is maybe not the right choosing. So you have to switch to polyurethane, but that comes or creates sometimes more problems. So this is what we also see. They want to try to make money without any let's say respect for the client. And you get a call, something is wrong. And if you ask, did they attest, or what are the let's say the basic information, they didn't know, and then you come into the play, and you have to find a solution.
They started to inject resin without drilling, and they started to drill without asking question where to drill. Where is the wall? Where is the wall? This is the wall. Let's drill. So this situation you have just described is a typical situation where our clients or soon to be clients simply don't believe in injections. This I have this quote: injections, it doesn't work.
That's
I
right.
don't believe it. These guys 2 years ago, they were also trying to do some injections, but it doesn't work. So I don't believe you.
Yeah, that's right. I can I write it also. That case, I have a lot of phone calls in that case. And finally, on some points, you have to stop the discussion if they are not open for a test injection or for any kind of test. You have to say, okay, guys, I'm out of here. I could give you a solution, but if you are not open for that, it's not my business. I have to say no. You can call another company or can call other guys, but we are on the point where I have to stop. And because at the end, I want the final product. I want the final result, like your injection, ground injection to stabilize that railroad things and maybe move up, or you want to give your best work at the end of the day, and this is not possible in some point.
Any other good example?
Well, maybe
the whole list.
Here. No, I've picked out some things. Maybe like a masonry point, from the masonry stuff. We do also some injections for to prevent moisture, uprising walls, uprising moisture in walls, and therefore there are also some older buildings around German village, and there I did a lot in the past. I did a lot of injection or test injections also in masonry, for example, to find out the spreading of the material, to find out special if you have thicker wall structures, and sometimes you have cavities inside the walls, or let's say a cavity, or let's say an air opening inside, and if you inject the material, it run
Directly
somewhere
to this
else.
hole between two
Yeah,
parts of the wall.
for insulation, for example, and therefore we do a lot of test injections, and we are using. You can do that with the material, for example, on one hand, but also depends on the structure or in the target. I did it in the past on some spots with water, with colored water, for example, to find out, especially if you do a curtain injection, you can use water, put some color into it to get an overview about the flowing ratio behind the water, maybe a flowing ratio of water behind it. And it is also, but finally, you can do a test injection in concrete, in soil, in masonry. You can do it anywhere. And another example, if we speak about not the injection point, but filling by gravity, could be also maybe you have also job sites where your crack repair will do by filling by gravity, not without any using a pump, for example.
We did this last year, using, by the way, your epoxy resin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Of course, it worked very well.
Yeah, that was also on a let's say airport. The crack repair has to be done without any packer installation, so you only have to fill by gravity. Therefore, we did also some tests there. We prepared some cracks, some meters of cracks, and filled it with a epoxy resin there, and did some core drillings to find out are we reaching the depth which is necessary to strengthen the structure. That was also a complete new field. I didn't use that before, but also filling by gravity without any high pressure pumps, for example, can be also a good solution. Therefore, we choose two materials, one with let's say a higher viscosity and one with a low viscosity. And finally, we get it done with a low viscosity. You found out a better solution.
Yeah.
You can name it like ever you want, but it is a good overview finally about the structure or about the soil.
Okay, so let's try to wrap things up. And so if we were about to give the list of benefits for both applicators and designers about using and running a test field in injection technology, what would be your points in this list?
Now, I would say, if I'm from a contractor side, I would say, if I understand the sense behind that, I would say it's a time and money saving thing. So just think about you will know it really also because of your experience on job site. It is a huge time saving thing if you switch to a wider packer distance, for example. Saves time to install the drilling and install the packers, and on the other hand, saves the money if you get a good spreading of the material. The time and money saving is, I think, the bullet point of that. Just
absolutely.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
If I drill less, then it takes less time to drill the whole raster. Then it takes less drill bits to drill this, I don't know, 500 holes. Then it takes less pieces of packers to be installed in the holes because there are less holes. Then it takes faster to pump the resin because, as you explained, the resin flows easily behind the wall, and then it takes faster to remove all already used packers and to fill the holes because there are less holes. So on every single step of the whole technology, you say faster and less of something.
And
saving.
And just think about the health and safety thing. If you know also about the maximum injection pressure you found out during a test injection, you can also get this aspect into it, because health and safety, it's worse if your packer comes out of your wall, or the material, or you crack or damage maybe more the structure. This could also be an aspect of it. And for me, it's a good it's a good way to find out what is the planner thinking about it, and is it true, or is it in some point false what he decided. So it is the main point in that case. And time saving, money saving, safety, health and safety issues, and at the end the material choose. You come to a point, you choose first an acrylic gel, but you found out, oh, hold on, it's wrong. We have to switch over to a polyurethane, or we have to let's say use a foam first instead
and then
of
acrylic gel.
and then acrylic gel, or then the polyurethane. This is this is the whole point in that let's say bucket. Get finally a good solution for your work there.
For me, it's like it's not only the resin, but the whole necessary things.
Yeah.
What kind of pump, what kind of packers, 1K pump, 2K pump, maybe
That's
both.
Right.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Because one pump, 1K pump will be used to inject some foam first, and then just after the foam, acrylic gel with another this 2K pump.
Yeah.
So all this information that are necessary to really run a successful injection
That's right.
is going to be collected during this test.
Yeah, it makes you more serious, your company, and it shows that you are experienced, and it is a worst case if you pump something into a structure or a soil, we have no clue about it, and it could be really much more critical, and you can damage something, and it is a good point. And as I mentioned, it is not necessary for every job site, for sure, but in some unknown cases, it makes really sense to finalize this with a test injection.
Great. One simple message at the end, especially from my point of view, I still remember the faces of these managers in Gdańsk when they were really in shock that I wasn't afraid of admitting that I don't know, but I know how to find out, how to collect this information. So being open to admitting that you don't know something is important. I know many contractors that they will never ever admit that they don't know, they know everything. I know, I've been 20 something years in the in the market, so I know everything. I know everything.
Yeah,
that's simply not true.
No, because you finally, you as a contractor, you have to guarantee your work, and you have to make sure that at the end of the day it is done like they planned, for example. And this is also it's always a discussion, and same here or same in Europe. You have to argue all the points down, and finally they calculate. Okay, the test injection costs €1,000, €5,000, depends on the site of
the volume of the whole
construction site. So finally, about the project I spoke about a couple of minutes before, the acrylic gel and PU test injection, we speak about 5 or 10 tons of material for that test injection, and just think about what costs are coming there. So, but it is necessary, and finally, you can, as a contractor, you can negotiate with a planner. Okay, if we do it, we can speak about the pricing at the end. You can pay that separately or whatever. So it's a negotiation thing, but it is necessary in some cases. That's what I suggest. And you have to be on the safe side, Mateusz, as a contractor. You have to discuss that. You have to show them the options, and you see it works. They call you again for lot of other job sites. So
That's it. So in the end of this conversation, I guess we can say that the bigger the project is going to be, the more crucial is to run this test before.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, you can have it like you can name it like this. It's bigger as the crucial is it, and yeah, it costs a lot of money finally, and this is the point. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the
So
point.
the only one thing being changed after the test is made, and even if this one decision is changed, and this one decision is going to save some time or money, it's huge save on this
Yeah,
huge amount of resin
yeah. For
and
sure, you
time
have to
spent on
calculate
the
it.
construction site.
Yeah, for sure. You as a contractor, you have to calculate it separately. You need a day more, or a day especially, or 2 days to finalize this test injection. But yeah, as you mentioned, at the end it saves money. It is not for every crack, but
No,
yeah,
no.
but yeah,
We agreed injection into the ground, injection behind the
yes,
wall, curtain injection. So mainly this kind of injection works that you simply can't see through the concrete.
yes,
You
that's
inject
right.
into the unknown,
Yeah,
somewhere underneath.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I would look behind the structure, I would be a millionaire. It makes it much more easier if I could behind that, or if I could look down into the soil, and yeah, can say you a
Yeah,
number of
you drill
yeah,
here and here only.
yeah, and that's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, I would be a millionaire finally at the end of the day.
Your company would fire you because you would
Yeah,
prevent to
yeah.
sell resin.
Instead of using 1 ton, I would use only one can of
That's
metal.
it. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are fired. Okay, I'm kidding. Mm, thank you very much for this conversation. I guess we have said all the things we prepared for this conversation.
Hopefully,
Hopefully,
we could
look at your
explain a little.
notes. Look at your
Yeah,
notes.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. As you see it,
Mhm.
I'm done. So, but hopefully we could explain it a little bit more in details. And of course, I think there are a lot of questions again. So, but to give a first overview, it was a good idea from your side to discuss this to help other people or to help other clients or contractors outside a little bit more about this, to think about this.
I have to say that last year I sent this quite long newsletter to podcast listeners and subscribers,
Mhm.
and I get really big amount of questions from these people.
Yeah,
Some of them explained that they had very much the same situation on their job sites in their countries. Some of them said that they have never heard of this, so they are grateful that they
yeah,
got this newsletter. So again, if you are not subscribed to my newsletter, please do it right now.
yeah.
This is
It is a good point. It is a
good
good.
point and good time
You
to
learn.
start to gain knowledge.
Yeah, you learn a lot of good basic things and detailed things in your podcast. So yeah, it is a good point to open it. And finally, such a podcast, that's what I suggest, is a good point for start any discussion. There are
Absolutely.
some guys thinking completely different to our thinking, so it is a good point to start a discussion. This is also a plus you achieve with your thing.
At least you know what your, let's say, customers or competitors may think about a given situation on a job site. Yeah, you
Yes.
would say, "Oh, I would solve it totally differently. I never thought about their approach to this
Yeah.
issue." Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That could be also a point. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. So I like it, and I like your podcast, and really interesting because you have let's say you are not focused on one thing. Your mind is open. You spread all
No, I
that
can't be focused on
themes.
only one thing. It would be
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah, that's right, and this is good. Yeah, you learn. You can pick all the interesting things your podcast to apply to your job site or to apply to your daily job, daily business.
Thank you very much for this conversation. And I really hope to have you one more or even more than one time in the future. As we can see, we can talk for hours. Well, these topics are really interesting.
Yeah, it was a great pleasure, Mateusz.
We can talk for hours.
Yeah, we could talk for hours, and yeah, maybe we do a job site together in the future. Then we meet on the job site, and we can go for a coffee or two.
That would be great. That would be absolutely great. But first, I have to, we have to really be able to easily travel, and then we can meet on the job site.
Just
have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
And talk to you soon.
You're welcome, and it was a great pleasure again to join your podcast again. And yeah, it's really a good thing. And just go forward, Mateusz.
I'm doing this all day, as my cup says. Work hard. So I'm doing this. At least I'm trying to. Thank you very much for this conversation. All the best.
Great pleasure for me every time. Bye-bye.
In the next episode, I will talk about using my concrete injection drilling calculator on your job site and how you can automatically define the right places to drill to fix concrete cracks. I will also tell you about my first ebook titled 6 Core Principles for Effective Crack Injection.
You've been listening to the Concrete Injection Made Easy podcast. Make sure to visit our website, www.inblock.com.pl/podcast, where you can subscribe to the show so you'll never miss another episode. And be sure to subscribe to our email list so you can get the secrets of concrete injection repair delivered straight to your inbox. So tune in, subscribe, and take your concrete injection game to the next level.